This PSA was brought to you by the Peter G Show.
You may have second thoughts after the show.
Don't drink the faucet. We're really talented. We should get Oscars.
Just pick out a car, for Christ's sake.
No, hi, my name is Peter. Yeah, I want. Here's good.
Yeah.
Madam Perry.
I need to get back in the genie bottle.
Louis from Pennsylvania, you're on. He likes it. It's showtime.
Peter G Show, Peter G Show, divorced dad, single dad, divorced dad, single dad, Peter G Show.
Oh yeah, show enough is. It's showtime Wednesday right here. Life of Peter G, the Peter G Show. Every Wednesday like clockwork, 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. on the East Coast, God willing. And I mean that. How the hell is everybody? I hope everybody's doing well. We'll give a little bit of time for people to catch up, get on in here, get comfortable, all that stuff. We got a great show for you tonight. A lot of show in the show tonight. It's always a good thing. But we got a lot of stuff going on. We do. And guess what? I know, right? 4 more days and or nights until we get back to daylight savings time. That's right, folks. Daylight savings time. The time that everybody is anticipating and waiting for. I think it blew by pretty quick. We went through our dark doom and gloom pretty fast, but then again, I feel like the world is moving faster anyway, at least in my camp. But 4 more days, then we're going to get to that extra little bit of daylight. Actually, a little bit of daylight. And we'll start stretching the days out and doing more, and I'm looking forward to it. I need that extra daylight because sometimes I sleep in because I stay up very late, and I need that daylight so I can make up for the time that I lost, because I'm not a crack of dawner. I do what I have to do when I have to do it, but I'm that kind of guy that I rather work at night. I'm just wired that way. But, there's many, many times and days that I have to conform and all that stuff. So I do what I have to do, but I do enjoy the extra daylight just like everybody else. But it is what it is. And also, you know how I do the short clips? I do highlight clips and things that go out all week long. I'm telling you, I'm getting people that are saying that I am AI. I'm not real. There was a ton of comments. Again, I went down the rabbit hole. They tell me to stay away from the comments, Peter. But sometimes I have to go look for myself. And they're going, it's AI, it's fake, he's fake. It's like, oh, no, I am very, very real. The one thing about this show is that I'm going to pride myself on now because of AI is that this show is very, very real. Like it or not, good or bad, mostly good. But I am very real. And that's the thing. There's no AI here. I. So what you get is what you get. Again, I'm not saying that you're going to agree with everything I say, but so long as you're watching, that's all it's about. It's if you're here, it's because you're meant to be here, good or bad, but it's real. So just wanted to get that cleared up because I know that AI is getting very, very hard to tell the difference on what is real and what's not, because it makes me so crazy when I see these people falling for these fake pictures and all this kind of stuff. However, I guess the newbies, they just see the one clip. They don't follow the show. They will. But they just look at it and go, oh, he's fake. He's an avatar. It's like, nobody wants to avatar this shit right here. I swear to God. You can pick all kinds of faces you want, but I don't see anybody knocking down my door going, we want your face for an avatar. Nobody. Let me rephrase, nobody. I mean, when I first started this show, they said I had a great face for radio. I don't know how to take that, but I digress. Anyway, okay, there we go. So listen, tonight I said we got a great show, and there's a reason why we got a great show, because tonight I have Carol on my show. For those of you who don't know, Carol is my favorite, and I do mean favorite, common sense lesbian. Now, I got a lot of lesbians in my life. I know all kinds of people. Close. But Carol came to me. Well, I found Carol years ago, and I fell in love with her because she's just real. She's just real. And I tracked her down years ago and got her to come on. She was on my show 2 years ago. We'll talk to her about it. But anyway, tonight, Carol's going to be on the show. I want to talk about then and now, because when she first came on the show, it was probably around the spring of 2024 when we were in the height of gay pride and pride this and fly the flag at the Capitol. I mean, just shoving that shit down our throat. I had no problem with gay anything, but there's a time and a place for everything, and Carol was right on board. She hated it too. She just wants to live her life, and I started seeing her and listening to her, and I said, I got to get her on the show. We got to talk about this. So that was only a few years ago, and now everything's calmed down. It's nice and quiet. There's no gay day at Dodger baseball. I don't see any. I haven't seen any in a year or more, but there's the parades where everybody's walking around ridiculously in front of children and things like that. Haven't seen any of that around. So we're going to talk to her about it, the then and now, plus a bunch of other stuff, because she's on board. She's just a realist. She's got it all pretty much level-headed, and she'll tell you what she thinks, and that's why I love her. So tonight, Carol, my favorite common sense lesbian, is going to be on this show in just a few, but sit back and get ready. Also, while I'm at it, I want to remind you, before I forget, next week, Wednesday, March 11th, I have psychic medium Amy Bolesky is going to be on this show. I love Amy Bolesky. She talks to dead people. Now, a lot of people, I think she's one of my all-time favorites. I mean, she's a younger woman, but she's had near-death experiences. I've followed her for years. She was on the show back in like 2022 or 23. Also, it took me forever to get a hold of her, to get her to come on the show. And then we talked down the line, and she says, hey, you know, we should do it again. But that took another 2 years. So I finally got her. She's going to be on this show next week, Wednesday, March 11th, psychic medium Amy Bolesky. I think she's awesome. And we're going to pick her brain and see what's going on. And maybe she'll talk to dead people. I'm not sure. But that's what she does. So I find it very fascinating, interesting. I don't shun it or totally. I'm kind of in the middle. But when somebody tells you something that nobody else can really know, it kind of makes you wonder. There's a lot of phonies out there, but there's a lot of phonies in everything. You know, there's good and bad mechanics. There's good and bad everybody. Good and bad show hosts. Hi, I'm Peter. And I'm going to have her on the show, so I can't wait. So that's next week, Wednesday, March 11th. Amy Bolesky, psychic medium Amy Bolesky. She talks to dead people. You're not going to want to miss that. All right? Don't forget, please subscribe, share. A lot of sharing going on. I'm very proud of you guys. What we got going on here? It's Mike Rupp. Good evening. Good evening, Peter G Show. Hey, Michael. Thanks for making it. I'm glad you can make it. And I'm got a lot of show going on tonight, so we're going to keep moving. But Pensacola in the house. That's right. Wouldn't have it any other way. There you go. Vadim. Nostrovia. Vadim. Long time. Well, I've been here. I've been right here. Busy as a son of a gun. We'll talk later. Here we go. But right now we're in the middle of a show, so let's what we got? Do you think, real quick? Do you think she already? Hey, what happened? Did I do that? Do you think she knows I might watch her? Who? Amy Bolesky? Not sure. But Find out, I guess. All right. Next. Again, thank you all for sharing. Don't forget, if you're on Facebook, go to the official Peter G Show Facebook page, which is kicking ass, by the way. Again, we get close to 750,000 views a month on Facebook, and we're reaching that 100,000 mark on follows. I need you to hit the follow button, for God's sake. If you watch the show weekly, just do me a solid and do that. I know I'm guilty of not, following everybody, but if you do watch more than once and you are checking out the show, just do that, man. Just do me a favor, please. I appreciate it. And YouTube, again, YouTube's got it out for me. They're constantly shutting me down. They're constantly pulling my shows off and punishing me. But if you're watching from YouTube, I want you to go to the official YouTube Peter G Show page and hit the follow button. I mean, the subscribe button for YouTube. I'm sorry. The official Facebook page, Peter G Show, it's a follow button. YouTube is a subscribe button. Plus, it'll let you know and notify you when the show is on. All right? Please, I still got to stay. I got to play their game. I know now certain shows, I just don't play them. I don't put them on YouTube, but it is what it is. This is the world we live in. All right? That's it. All right. So real quick, I know that I have Carol waiting in the wings, and I got a lot of stuff to talk to her about, but because we are living in the world that we live in, and there's been a lot of news in the news this past week, and so I feel like I really need a couple of minutes just to go through it. I want to call this Iranian war info in a minute or 5. There's the media. Anybody who knows and watches the show, I trust the media about that much. I don't listen to a lot of that stuff. I take a lot of that media and I just take it with a grain of salt. I don't care. I don't follow them. You got to do your own homework. The biggest problem with people is they believe the news because they used to trust the news, and they say, why would the news lie to us? And that's the problem. The media is just corrupt as hell. It's been corrupt as hell, and they've brainwashed a lot of people that I love. But you're never going to understand until you understand. It's just one of those things. But I kind of gather little clips, and I just want to get it straight because I know there's a lot of pros and cons to what's going on right now. I mean, nobody wants war. Nobody does. But there's some people that are very happy with what's going on because their livelihood is getting changed. And for all those people who think that, F Trump and this and that, again, I'm not telling you what to believe or who to believe or whatever. You make your own choices. I put information out there and you do what you want with it. But I'm just trying to bring a few things to your attention that you might not realize. And here's somebody from Iran who is going to give you a little explanation about the government and leadership of Iran. Here you go real quick.
Iranians are burning down mosques. Oh my God! What do they have against religion? I know their government, which is Islamic regime, is being a dictator and is killing people for the past 46 years, but they shouldn't throw away their religion, man. It's their religion. Buddy, I've got news for you. Islam is not Iranian people's religion. Iranians were invaded by Muslims and forced into Islam. And our hatred for Islam is the same as our hatred for the Islamic regime who's been holding us hostage for the past 46 years. No, a religion that says women should wear burqas and stay at home, that says men should beat their wives is not my religion. A religion that says men can marry a 9-year-old girl is not Iranian people's religion. A religion that says you should kill whoever does not think like you, that says you should blow up yourself and a group of people because they don't think like you, and then you'll go to heaven to get your 72 virgins, is not Iranian people's religion. Iranians are not like that. Iranians are the nation of Cyrus the Great, who wrote the very first Charter of Human Rights. And now you think that Islam, that has zero respect for human rights, is Iranian people's religion? No, my friend, no. We're just being invaded and enslaved and taken hostage by this freaking religion, by this freaking Islamists. And we're gonna break free. We're gonna be the very first country in the whole world who is de-Islamizing, who is throwing out this religion from our country, who's gonna be great again.
See, I'm telling you that there's a lot of people that don't realize that Iranian people were not Islamic people. I know a lot of people never, you don't think that. You think that they're Islam. Years ago, they're Christian people that were taken over by the Islamic regime and then forced to start wrapping their heads and wearing burqas or whatever. You know, I mean, it was a whole different world back in the 70s. Go look it up. Go look at the pictures. Women wore skirts. Their hair was showing. They were just normal people. And then that took over. So I just needed to set the record straight. They're actually Christian people that got forced into Islam. If you didn't go with the Islam, they'll kill you. It's that simple. I have friends, you know, that would explain that to me, that were, you know, Persian or Iranian, and going, if I did that, what I'm doing here over there, they would kill me. So I want to set the record straight. And again, if you think that the Orange Man is bad, they've been talking about bombing, you know, the regime over there for decades. You don't believe me? Here's old Hillary saying it, words out of her mouth. And there's many. Every single president has threatened to bomb Iran, but one finally is making the change. Here you go.
Iranians to know that if I'm the president, we will attack Iran. Whatever stage of development they might be in their nuclear weapons program in the next 10 years, during which they might foolishly consider launching an attack on Israel, we would be able to totally obliterate them. That's a terrible thing to say, but those people who run Iran need to understand that, because that perhaps will deter them from doing something that would be reckless, foolish, and tragic.
So, Madam Speaker, or Madam Leader, you're saying that the president did not need authorization initially and still does not need any authorization from Congress on Libya?
Yes.
Thank you both.
Thank you all very much.
Again, now the shoe's on the other foot. Orange Man bad. Everything he's doing is what has been done in the past. So stop it. All right? Nobody likes this stuff, but sometimes, again, you got to do what you got to do to get to where you're going. And the talk is cheap. He's making good on his word. And he's making good on his word, and the Iranian people are aware of that. And again, you might not see it on the news because the news doesn't want you to see it. But here, why don't you just listen to the Iranian people in Iran themselves? Here you go.
Love you, Trump. You can't imagine how we are appreciate our country, our people. I'm really appreciate. We love you.
Thank you, Mr. President Trump. God bless you. God bless America. Thank you, Mr. President. Dear Mr. President Trump.
Trump, kill Khamenei. I'm so happy. Thanks, Trump. Thanks, Trump. You are the best man in the world. I love you, Trump.
I want to have a big thanks to President Trump for keeping his promise and freeing people of Iran that has nothing to do with this government, with this terrorist government.
Yeah, there you go. I fell asleep at the wheel. I was doing something else. They know. They've been under that shit for 47 years. Repressed, getting murdered. They don't care. They know. So I tend to believe them, you know, what's going on as opposed to the news. And here's one last woman from Iran, and she's got the Peter G campaign. She must be watching the Peter G show because her slogan is exactly what I've been preaching all year long last year. So here's a real quickie, and then we're going to move on to the main event. But here you go to sum it all up.
Real quick, if you're not Iranian and you don't know what the people of Iran had to deal with for the last 47 years, and you want to come in and have your little comments, respectfully, just shut the fuck up and let us have our moment.
She must watch the Peter G show, because I can't say that enough. For everybody who's so quick to bark and speak and lash out and not know what you're talking about, these people have had to live through all this stuff, and they're willing to get bombed for their freedom. And she's telling those who are lashing out and saying, you know, he can't do that and he can't do this. It's like, shut the fuck up. Sit back and just, whatever you say is not going to change anything. So she's right there. Shut the fuck up. I've been saying that all last year. People are so quick to run their mouths. You're not changing anything, because the minute you're lashing out when you say, see, I told you so, tomorrow everything changes again. And that's just washed away, and you think you know what you're talking about gets washed away. So just like she's saying, you're not in their shoes, shut the fuck up. They're the ones taking the heat, and they're willing to take the heat. Yes, we have our service people in. I get it. Yes, and there's already been some tragedies. I totally get it. But the military is not like working at Walmart. They got into the military knowing good and well there's always a possibility to have to protect and serve. Unfortunately, they had to. I hope it goes away real fast. But you got to just sit back. Everybody wants to voice their opinion. I get it. But sometimes it's just best if you let things simmer, because it's changing so rapidly, and just do yourself a favor from looking stupid and shut the fuck up. Respectfully. I love you guys. I'm saying that with love. Okay? There we go. All right. Let's take a sip real quick. Here's to another week. I love you guys. Keep those shares. Keep following. Keep subscribing, because there's a lot of stuff changing this year. And I'm going to be right here with you. So salute. And God watch over our servicemen and women, and I hope they get this over with real quick. All right? Salute. Oh. Smooth. Isn't that right, Butthead?
Smooth.
I love him. I swear, I used to watch it when it was in its infancy, and I still, I don't know. That's the 20-year-old in me. So anyway, all right. Where are we at? Real quick, let me just review this real quick. Thanks, Peter. I just shared with around 8 people. Well, thank you. I mean, I just feel like people need to know, because I'm pretty sure a lot of people don't realize that Iranian people are not Muslim people. And again, it's not a religion. We'll get into that. I'm going to have guests down the road in another few more weeks. He wrote a book about Islam, and he's a master in it, and we're going to talk deep about it if it doesn't get me shunned off the internet. But anyway, that's share. All right, and one last hello. Shalom, MCF Senior. Thank you for tuning in. There you go. Another faithful watcher, viewer. All right, so without further ado, I told you that I was going to be bringing on Carol, my favorite common sense lesbian, and I'm keeping my promise, just like the Orange Man. So from somewhere in the United States, she's been on the show several years ago. I'm having her back on because I want to compare notes now. So ladies and gentlemen, yay. How you doing?
I'm all right. Hopefully you can hear me well. I had to go to my backup plan.
No, I hear you just fine. Let's I didn't even see the switch over, so we're so far so good. Cross your fingers. Anyway, I think you were watching. I kind of gave everybody a brief synopsis, but I want you I found you on Instagram many years ago. And your name that's what you go by on Instagram, Right Side Lesbian Art. And I started watching you, and I kept on watching you, and it took me a while. I kept sending messages, and you finally answered me back, and I had you on the show because I believed I liked what you talked and what you stood for. Why don't you give everybody a brief synopsis of why you do on Instagram and what you do on Instagram?
Well, what I do on Instagram is I try to provide an opinion that is not of the norm, which is, my opinion, which is never of the norm. My opinion is always sort of out there in left field. So, and I talk about, keeping kids away from particular ideologies. I discuss politics. I discuss the ridiculous antics of people on the left. And I try to, help people, help kids, and, just let people know that, we're not all pink-haired, half-naked lesbians jumping around in the street.
Makes sense. Makes sense. That's why I found you. And at the time when we were talking, there was pride this, pride that, pride, fly the flag. The West Hollywood Sheriff's Department had pride stripes on the side of their police cars. I mean, it was a little over the top, and I think it was driving you nuts as well as me.
Yeah, tired of hearing about all that. As I suspected, it has now begun to die down, because when you swing too far one direction, but there's still a lot of it out there.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't know if you were paying attention today to the what happened in Texas.
No, it was a show. I mean, we cut off all kinds of stuff today. What happened in Texas?
Well, Jasmine Crockett did not make it past.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And who's the other guy? Two of them.
I just saw that before we kicked on. The one that's always making the trouble.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
but the guy that they've got in her place.
Yeah.
This is bad. He's talking about how trans people need reproductive health care and access to abortions.
Well, then we'll kick his ass too. Yeah, I mean, it just
and he's a little white guy.
Yeah, well, that says it all right there. Well, again, sometimes you gotta weed through. So, but look, it doesn't break my heart one bit that Jasmine Crockett got ousted. She needs to go back to the whatever the hell wherever she came from, because she showed her ass too much and she got what she deserves now.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody will end up hiring her because there's always some kind of news media outlet that needs a loudmouth.
Mm-hmm. She'll be on some show somewhere. That's what cracks me up about these politicians. Magically, now they're a celebrity and they're on some show, like Rachel Maddow, who is, by the way, classified as entertainment, so you can't sue her for all the misinformation she spews.
I hate that dude. I don't know how the hell she sleeps at night. I mean, she's one of the worst of the worst.
Mm-hmm.
She's bad.
I don't think she sleeps.
I don't know. I mean, she had to make one of those deals with the devil too, because you cannot be that bad. And Morning Joe, I haven't seen him around lately. He's another one. Morning Joe.
People have been disappearing.
Yeah, MSNBC. You know who I'm talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because I have not seen him in quite a while, which is because, see, they had their moment in the sun because they were getting propped up for talking about all that kind and changing the whole narrative. And now Daddy's home, and he went and kissed the ring, but they still did a lot of damage. Look at this guy right here. Where the hell is he at? She's out there, but I don't know where the hell he is. But anyway. I keep.
There's a lot of people missing right now.
I wonder where they are. I
know there's all kinds of theories.
Yeah, well, we'll find out. Again, more and more things are coming out. Okay, so let's talk about. So all that stuff was going on, and you were like highly against it because you claimed that all the LBTGQA, like they kept adding letters, and it ruined everything that you guys worked for to just be. And where do you think that's at now? Because I think a lot of that has dropped off the table too.
I mean, it's still out there, but they're just getting shut down left and right. I think it still it's done a great deal of damage to a lot of young people. I mean, because you have so many different like groups that are involved in this, but you have the young kids who are like mostly college level, maybe some in high school, because the high school kids now don't seem to be really going for all that. I think it's the college level kids, and then you have the what are they called? Autogenophiles, men who just want to get a kick out of dressing like women, or you got the opportunists, men who want to dress like women specifically so they can get into a women's restroom or a women's bathroom. You have the straight up, pedophiles. You have all of these different groups that are involved in this. And then you have white liberal women who are virtue signalers who have no white liberal woman who claims to be an activist. And you know how much I hate activism. I hate activism. Activism, the definition of activism to me is, my life is boring, so I'm going to try to take on your cause, even though you didn't ask me to, and then I'm going to go make a mess of it.
Yeah. No, nothing about it.
Activists have never helped a person in their life. Not one damn thing. There's still no cure for cancer or any other diseases out there. You have not cured homosexuality, and you have created solely on your own transgenderism, which inscribes for young people to literally physically mutilate their own bodies. Congratulations, liberal activists.
It blows my mind. I never used to believe how moldable the brain could be up until these past 10 years I never believed in brainwashing, but I am a true believer in it now. And then as you go down that rabbit hole, so to speak, too, you realize that, everything is intentional. And yeah, there's plenty of people that they just cave and you can make them believe, white is green and green is orange and with confidence. And that's what they did. And they ruined people. And now, Daddy came. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, it's just, now that Trump came in, he's like, we ain't playing all this bullshit. I mean, you can love him or hate him, but I think that all the things you're talking about that was extreme a couple of years ago you're saying, well, it's out there. Yeah, it's always going to be out there, but it doesn't need to be out there in everybody's face. They can have their own little room to go play in, just like it always was. It's like, if that's your thing, that's your thing. It's a free country. It doesn't bother me, but don't bring it home to my kids.
Yeah, I think what these quote unquote activists, and I mean, when you're talking about activists, you can go all the way back, to when I say an activist, I mean somebody that's standing around with a sign, somebody who's making TikTok videos. I don't mean, because I think there's a difference. I mean, you had civil rights activists who actually went out, got involved, helped create laws, or, people like the suffragettes, they went out and got involved and helped create laws. I'm not talking about those people because they're actually doing something. I'm talking about these idiots that just stand on the street with their little sign and then make videos, and then I think what they don't understand is they're so gullible. They're so lacking in character. Their character is so weak that all these people in the media have to do is plant a little seed. Transgenderism is okay. Abortion is good. Whatever their little seed is, they plant it, and then these people run with it, and they actually create the frenzy. So it's not even the media that's creating the frenzy. It's actually, I'm sorry, I have a cat wandering around here, and he's
something's bouncing around. I didn't know if you're hitting something or what's going on. Oh, look. Hey, what's the cat's name?
Sunkissed.
Sunkissed. All right, behave, Sunkissed.
So you have this phenomenon where they've kind of figured out that all I have to do is plant a little seed, and then the public at large, the virtue signal, stop. Sorry.
Yeah.
The virtue signaling public at large will create the narrative for them. They'll just go out there. People are so desperate to have something. I just need something because my life is boring and I can't get a job and I have no character and I have no personality. So I'm going to dye my hair 3 different rainbow colors, and I'm going to say that I'm, a panzeezer, sexual, asexual, freaking whatever. because that's what all the other outcasts are doing who have no personality, no character. And now they've created a narrative and people get injured from it. This is a phenomenon that you can go all the way back through history and look at. This isn't the first one, not by any sense of the imagination.
I guess through media, it's just so blatant now. I mean, I find, these people, they're so empty. They're looking to jump on any cause, and they do. But they don't even know what they're talking about. They're just there because they want to feel like they're part of something. It's the stupidest thing. There's plenty. Thank God for as much as we were just talking about TikTok and how like I hate the way it's going, and I got banned from it. There's no longer a Peter G show on TikTok, and you're not doing much on it. There's still a lot of people that make some good sense that go out to these protests, or actually Instagram has gotten really ballsy, allowing, the truth to be told more, which I'm very, surprised. And they go and they ask these people questions and they can't answer a damn thing. And then they get pissed off.
Mm-hmm. And then they walk away because they're, and that's what's so interesting because, I spent a lot of time, years on TikTok lives, watching them or getting involved in them, debating these people, and they're so ill-informed. They're so emotionally short-fused as soon as you call them out. But what we started to figure out is, number one, they had Discord chats and all these other things where these people get together in a group. And so what we started to notice over time, at night after night after night, is they would all come in with the exact same script. It would be saying the same things. And we figured out that there's actually Discord chats where these people go in, they get paid a certain amount of money, and they all come in and they say the same thing. They screen record the live, and then they give it back and they get paid. And this is the same thing we found out with protests. We know now that people are getting paid to protest. There's groups that are getting paid to protest.
Yeah.
And now we've seen recently they're just getting the senior citizens home out and giving these guys $50 or whatever, and they're out there, the old hippies from like the 60s.
It's but so you could tell, but you could say that you could tell somebody who is, I guess you want to say left, far left, or and say they're all getting paid, and they're going to call bullshit. They don't want to believe it, even though there's been people that go out there busting people, showing them at every protest around every part of the country. And then they show on the websites about these companies and corporate NGOs or whatever that go out and pay these people. And they'll still, again, it's like, oh, screw you. And you're talking to the wall. I mean, the people that know, they know. The people that just don't want to know, they're going to stick to it, go down with the ship.
The people who are calling bullshit are actually the ones who are getting paid. And now we have a new phenomenon. I don't even know if it's new, but now you have, there's this whole thing on TikTok and Instagram now where you have what I call snake oil salesmen. So you got people that now, and not just on the left anymore, a lot of it's now on the right, these conservatives, these wishy-washy, I need money conservatives that are coming on. Their whole videos are, rage bait. Their live is rage bait. And after a while, you're just like, you're just on here to get money.
Yeah.
I don't even care what you say anymore because you're saying nothing. I just got in a whole thing with one of these guys online about this.
There's so much crap. Obama, unfortunately, he said the quiet part out loud by saying, if you put enough misinformation out there, lie on top of lie, you'll be so confused you won't know what to believe. And we are definitely way past that point. I mean, it's you don't know what to believe. I mean, there's just so much out there. So then when somebody comes up with the truth, you got to really weed through it. And most people, I think, are just too lazy to. They just go along with whatever and then bitch about it.
I think what we all need to start realizing is that we don't have one inkling of the truth. None of us.
Yeah.
No matter what news station you watch, every once in a while, a video will sneak through on one of these social media where it's like, I don't know if you remember when all that stuff was supposedly going on in Kyiv.
Which
And
there
then,
was so much.
yeah, exactly. Well, supposedly Kiev was up in flames at this time.
And I know what you're going to say. Go ahead. Yeah.
And there was a video of a guy walking around going, "I'm in Kiev right now."
Yeah, at the nightclub.
It's rich because you guys just gave us all your money. Thank you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So every once in a while, one of those slips through. But the reality is, we never knew what was going on. And when we start finding things out, like we're finding things out about JFK, we're finding out what kind of a person MLK was now, right?
Yeah.
Wait till people find out what Richard Nixon was really doing. You know? He wasn't, I'm sorry, I'm moving a lot.
That's all right.
I'm trying to make sure this thing stays steady. But there was a lot of stuff that we just didn't know, you know? And now we're starting to find out Richard Nixon wasn't that bad of a guy. Who else was involved in Watergate? Does anybody know? That's right, Hillary Clinton.
Yeah. There's
shocking.
Again, media was different back then, so they could hide the truth. I mean, you know, a lot easier. He wants to get on camera. That's okay. Well, the cat wants to get on camera. If you're gonna get on camera, Sunkiss, you gotta bring something to the table. What you got to say? That's what I thought. Oh boy, it's a boy or a girl?
He's a boy.
Ah, Sunkiss. He don't care. Cats are.
No, he just wants mama.
Yeah, well, he says, "Mama's on TV right now."
He does it every time.
Really?
Yeah.
Like a kid. I used to do that with my mother when she was on the phone. I swear. I apologize. I apologize for it, but yeah. I was a pain in the ass, and I admit it, and God bless her. But anyway, that's a whole nother show. Look, all this stuff that they've hidden. I mean, you've even talked about extraterrestrials and stuff like that. I remember you talking about all that stuff. You know, do you believe that we're finally on the cusp of this stuff finally, you know, some way, shape, or form getting ready to come out?
Depends on what train of thought you're on. You know, there's a lot of trains of thought when it comes to this stuff. You know, there's people who believe in aliens and that we've had them, you know, around since the 40s and 50s. There's people who believe that it's all going to be Project Bluebeam, CGI stuff. There's other people who believe that, you know, aliens are disguising themselves as human beings and walking around. There's so many different theories. Do I believe they're going to disclose it to us? Eventually, they're going to have to. I know there's a lot of people out there who believe that human beings are the only, we're it. I know a lot of people who think that. And I'm like, this is it. This is the best God could do. People who torture, literally human beings torture each other and beat each other and abuse each other. A lot of them do it just for fun. And you're telling me this was the best God can do? I don't buy it for a second. Not for 1 second. Whatever's out there, if they're good or bad, or if they're for us or against us, if they're already here, if they're not here, I don't know. But I do believe in aliens, whether they be interdimensional or whatever. Are they going to let us see it? You know, I'm getting tired of listening to all these, what are they, QAnons? We call them.
Are they still out there? Are they still out there?
Oh, yeah, they're still out there, and they're still trying to claim that there's some kind of a freaking plan, and it has to be done this way, because otherwise people won't wake up, and there'll be a high rate of people unaliving themselves in droves and all this other stuff. Just pull the Band-Aid off. Like, if it's a real plan, we're tired of waiting.
Yeah.
Because at this point, I don't believe you. You're full of shit. So if there is a plan, just rip the Band-Aid off. Let's move on. If people can't handle it, they can't handle it. It's
right.
Some of these people are trash anyway. So, you know, I mean,
I did a show a few months ago, and I talked about Project Bluebeam with the Second Coming, because, you know, the deep, whatever you want to call it, the cabal, the deep state, or whoever is going to, you know, has these capabilities. And I caught a lot of flack for it. And it's like, if you know the Bible, and, you know, I mean, there's so many different versions and reads of things like that. I believe that there's people that would understand and not fall for this stuff. But doing this show all these years now, since the 40s, I really believe that there's a lot of people that will buy into anything because they're just going about, and I'm not calling them stupid. It's just, they're just not aware, and they're just going about their lives doing things and don't really realize what's really going on. I mean, I don't think if I was doing this show, I don't know if I would know as much as I know. Does that make sense?
It does. I think that there are a lot of people like that who would just believe anything, and that's what New York City just found out. And now they're finding out. I literally just saw a video of a guy talking about the bus fare went up, the train fare went up. He was over there promising free everything. Everything went up, and now he's trying to insert Sharia law over there. We told you so.
Yeah.
We told you so. And you wouldn't listen to us. That's the problem. See, we have we have a bigger problem in American society. I figured this out. It's not about red versus blue. It's not about gay versus straight, men versus women. It's not about different religions or, let's repeal the 19th Amendment because somehow that makes sense in your ridiculous mind. Or it's not about any of that. What this is about is about we have a society, and I'm not just talking about the United States. I'm talking about everywhere. Because, you and I have been on here for a long time. We've talked to people from Australia. We talked to people from Canada. We talked to people from the Middle East. We talked to people from wherever, Africa, in these things.
Yeah.
So, this problem is everywhere. And what you have a problem is, again, lack of character and a whole lot of pride. So instead of listening to what you're saying, like these people in New York, instead of listening to what we were saying the whole time, like, don't vote that guy in because you're not going to like it and he's a liar. They're so busy calling us all still, you're stupid, you're dumb, you don't know what you're talking about. Karl Marx was right, yada, yada, yada. Whatever baloney they're coming out with. And now they find out, oh, well, help us. No. Learn your lesson.
Yeah. It's a shame, and I think a lot of younger people I know, because I have people that I know, and they're going, what's wrong with the government taking care of us? I mean, and it just blows my mind. Now I blame it on youngness. I blame it on, like, it takes years to get to where not everybody has that common worldly sense. I didn't. I was a musician my whole life. Life was good. We were going places. I got paid to be in different parts of the world. Didn't even think about this stuff. But the ones that are just like, well, why, if they're going to just give it to us, I mean, that sounds like a good deal, doesn't it? And that's what happened in New York. And a lot of people didn't vote in New York. The percentage, I forget what it is now, but it was really low percentage. And the ones that did vote were the ones that were looking for the free everything. So I blame the New Yorkers. Now the ones that didn't vote are screwed. Mostly older people, common sense people that they're just fed up with it. They didn't even bother. It's kind of a shame.
That's the problem, though, isn't it? Because now it's our generation coming in, because the baby boomers are going out. And when I say going out, I mean going all the way out, because they're in there are some younger ones still in their 60s, but there's a lot of 70s, and they're just moving on.
Yeah.
And now if you are a Gen Xer and you are not voting right now, shame on you. Now, I understand, like, there have been times when I've been moving or whatever and I can't vote, but if you're talking about your local elections, I always try to vote in my local elections if I can. Because that's just why. And even look where I'm at, the freaking governor, as far as I'm concerned, there's no way. I mean, I'm certain that's in most areas people are being placed for whatever, I don't know. There's a they somewhere, and they're doing things for nefarious purposes. It's just it's so bad now. We're beyond this. Like, if you don't have any character, as far as I'm concerned, you're a demon. You're evil. And I really think that we're in a battle right now.
I've seen to like even the Muslims now. I mean, because we're getting really heavily populated, and their plan. I mean, I've saw a little. I don't know where got this, but they're starting at the lower level. They're infiltrating, taking county offices and civil offices in towns, and it all starts from there. They start taking control and being supervisors or attorney generals or this and that, and then once those things, then they all just start helping each other. Before you know it, we're getting all voted out, and it will be that Sharia law and all these little things that are going on in Dearborn, Michigan, and the Somali issues we're having in Minnesota's and what's going to soon be in New York. And again, a prime example, Iran got taken over by the Muslim regime, and they just took them over, and they had to bow to that shit for 47 years.
Yeah, but that's not going to happen here, and I'll tell you why. Number one, we have a heavily armed citizenship here, more than any other country. I mean, our citizens are the largest army in the world. Just our citizens.
When it comes to that point, but look at, I'm hearing they're having so many problems. There's mosque after mosque being built and put up in Dallas, Texas. They're getting overrun with it, and they're allowing it. It's like, well, I don't understand. It's how far does it have to go before we shut this stuff down?
You don't understand? Let me explain it to you then. Because this is why. See, now, back in the day, we had things called revolutionary wars. We had civil wars. We had uprisings. Small battles. What didn't we have? We didn't have all this. Keeping us on social media, keeping us attached to the TV is keeping it like we think we're doing something on here, when what we should be doing is rising up as a people, but we never will, because we're all convinced by Orange Man Bad that we need to be the party of law and order. Very cute. Now, I'm not anti-Trump by any means. I like Trump. I think he's hilarious. But the reality is they're all wings of the same bird. And we're all going to have to start understanding that it's just whatever government is palatable to the most people at the time. And that's really all it is. Now, I hope and pray that there is some big Q plan. There are allies. There are, things going on behind the scenes and Gitmo and all this other stuff. If that happens, I'll be happily wrong.
Yeah, I say that too.
But right now, from what I see, that's not happening. Now, good for the people of Iran, if that's really helping them. But what are we really doing there? And that's number one. Number two, we need to not forget that we have two other major religions in this country. One of them is Christianity. And believe me, Christians aren't just going to bow down. They might look like they're going to, but they will not. Remember, for years now, everybody's blamed massive amounts of wars on Christianity. Remember, everybody's always talking about, the Christians have caused so much death and strife and war. We're talking about this for years. And we also have a huge, whether people know it or not, there's a whole lot of Israel going on in this country. Whole lot of Israel.
Always has been.
And that Israel has money, and that Israel is not going to let Islam take over. So, and not even to mention all of our gangs, all of the mob that's still running around in this country. Let's be real.
Well, it just sucks that it's gotten as far as it's. I mean, we just keep letting it go, and I don't know. I just thought this would be nipped in the butt a lot sooner, because it's just bringing more. It's making it harder and harder to turn things around. And they're blatantly. It's in our face too, and we just keep letting it go. Yeah.
That's your answer, though. Everybody's waiting for the government to do something about it. While we sit, we're letting it go. And that's the part nobody can get. Well, I have to go to work. Well, I have to pay my bills. Well, I have to pay my mortgage. Well, I have to feed my family. So I can't do anything. So we all sit around and don't do anything. And then we just get taken over, because we're all just sitting here going, well, I don't want to go to jail, or I don't want to do anything. And see, that's one thing that the left actually has right. They're doing it the wrong, they're doing it the wrong way, but they're uprising. They're doing something. And that's the difference. We're doing nothing because we all have to be the party of law and order. And Orange Man said not to do that. Well, how long, people? How long before we all get together and go, fuck this shit?
I'm with you. I catch a lot of hell because when I do talk about these certain topics, I'll get the person that's pissed off saying, you're sitting there talking about it. That's not doing anything. I understand that to a certain extent, but at the same time, I am very aware that there's people that are hearing what I'm saying for the very first time. So to me, enlightenment, you got to start somewhere. If I capture a handful of people and wake them up, I don't know. I mean, what am I? It could be a lot worse. I mean, somebody's got to bring it to somebody's attention. There's people that are just clueless. I told you, there's a lot of clueless people, and you need to have them on your side as well, because otherwise they're just in limbo and they don't know what to believe.
Well, I agree with you there. We definitely need to have people on here doing this, but at some point we also need to all stand up and say, hey, we're not going to let our country be taken over by any religion, because we have the United States Constitution, which says we have freedom of religion. We're not going to have Sharia law because that's against our Constitution. And I know I've heard the videos where they say, well, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get rid of the United States Constitution and institute Sharia law. I'm going to tell you right now, I know that they think the problem is all these people think they're the chosen ones. We're the chosen ones. We're the chosen ones. We're the chosen ones. We're the chosen. You're not the fucking chosen one. Nobody fucking chose you. You're the fucking guy who at kickball who's still waiting to get chosen. That's who you are. I don't care what fucking religion you are. You're not the fucking chosen one.
Yeah,
we don't know who the chosen one is. No one does. You don't know anything about it until you pass away, and then you know everything. So until somebody can go all the way to the other side and come back and tell me who the fucking chosen one is, you ain't it.
Again, I don't mind everybody having an opinion. Everybody is entitled to that, this and that. You live and learn. And just like you said, you would love to be wrong, if things are going to work out and all that. And me too. I say that, a lot. But in the meantime, I take more time at this than most. I know you do. And I feel it's my, because I swore, I say this a lot. When I started this show, I said no religion and no politics, but the world started changing very rapidly. And I didn't mean to do it, but I felt if I didn't, shame on me. Yeah, I'm just a talk show host, but I bring things to the table to bring awareness. And I tell people what you want to do with it. You can tell me, oh, forget it, Peter. But I'm saying just keep it in the back of your head. It may come in handy. That's how I got turned on, by people dripping on me. Not shoving it down my throat, but just bringing up little things. And I just said, oh, come on. I mean, this stuff. Let's go over to this whole what we're talking about now with the Epstein stuff and eating babies and rituals. That stuff sounds so fantastic, so out of, like, who in their right mind? That's the problem. It sounds so crazy.
Well, as you know, when I switched over in 2020, I guess it's about 2020 now, 2019, 2020, because remember, I was on the left forever. When I started doing research, I already found all that stuff. Because when I started sitting there on COVID time and doing the research, I found all kinds of weird. That was before they started trying to scrub the internet. I found all kinds of stuff. So there's me and other people out there who, we already knew. We already knew they were doing like nasty, nasty stuff. But I understand that people can't handle it, and they want to get focused on the biggest, worst mental experiment that has ever been propagated on the American public is going on right now and has been going on. They've titled it Trump derangement syndrome. I think Trump is just coincidental that literally they could have picked any president to do this. They tried it once before with Richard Nixon. They tried to destroy him and get everybody to hate him. Remember that? And it worked.
And I did. I didn't
So
like him.
now
'Cause
they knew they could do it. Huh?
I was young. I didn't know much about him, but because I was young and just listening to, I thought he wasn't any good either. But come to find out, that was the farthest from the truth. They set him up. He was trying to do better.
They set him up.
Yeah.
And it worked. So now they knew it would work. So they turned around. The same thing with this, like with the Spanish flu. They knew it would work again.
Yeah.
The same thing. They knew it would work. So, but it is the worst experiment that they've ever propagated on people. They have so many people out there hating a person they've never met, they know nothing about, and literally first of all, we were calling for the release of the Epstein files way back in the day when none of these people on the left had any. They'd be like, oh, that doesn't even exist. You tell them about it, they'd be like, no, that's not even real. Then they found out it was real. Then they demanded it. And now all they see in it is Trump. There's what, 5,000 files or something released, 3,500 files. All you see is Trump's name in there. You don't see all of the other people in there, all of the terrible things that are happening. You just skip right by it because they're so mentally obsessed with Trump.
Yeah.
To the point where it's an actual literal sickness, and they can't even see how dumb they look. They literally look like drug addicts. Like if they don't get their Trump or their way to yell about Trump in the day, they start like as soon as you mention Trump's name. Do you remember that commercial where Goofy was Goofy? But then he'd get in the car, and as soon as he got in the car, he'd be like, and become road rage Goofy. Do you remember that commercial? You got to look that up.
I was washing my hair that day.
You got to look that up. But that's how these people are. Like they're normal people, and then you mention Trump, and they just become this. They're like, like, what the freak is wrong with you? Like, do you not see?
It's remarkable.
Insane.
It is. I mean, the hatred, hate. It's so much, and it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
And they have to have it. They have to have it. Like they'll be on TikTok all night long, scrolling, just going into people's lives, so they can go.
Yeah.
Like, what's wrong with you?
I got people that I love very much that hate him, and it's like. I don't want to get into it because there's nothing I'm going to do to change their mind because it's that deep. But I just want to know, like, nobody ever gives me like what good, because I was my family came from Democratic side and this and that, but it's gone so extreme that I just couldn't hang anymore. It just was getting out of control. If you're going to have OAC and all these idiots and your what's the one that just got ousted out of Texas? You're telling me what the hell's it? All these people,
Crockett, AOC. Yeah. How about Ilhan Omar?
Yeah, the squad, the whole thing. I mean, I'm sorry, but my common sense or my spiny senses, whatever, this is not what I signed up for. It's like they don't have any solutions. It's just hatred. All they do is hate. So give me a reason to want to, again, Fetterman. I thought Fetterman in the beginning, I didn't know anything about him. After he had that stroke, I thought he was a whack job. I don't know if he's playing a game, but he's come out to be one of the most sensible, kind of at least, a Democrat that understands what's best for the country, which those guys have lost all control about it.
I mean, honestly, at this point, I think we need to stand up as a country and just start firing our senators and our congressmen.
They all do need to go. There are a few good ones.
They work for us.
That's true, but they're not doing anything for us. They're making themselves rich.
And they're making us look stupid, sitting there, not standing and applauding, not having any tact, no grace, yelling while the president is talking. You people are embarrassing. Step down from your position immediately.
They'll never step down.
You can not like somebody all you want, and you know who started it all? The lack of decorum. Freaking Nancy Pelosi.
Oh yeah, she ripped up the.
She's the one who started it all.
She was
That
the ringleader.
bitty old bag who's like 150 years old, who should have been out of there a long, long time ago.
Drunk, rich,
drunk all the time.
Yeah, and rich.
Built a freaking bar in the House of Representatives, from what I understand.
Yeah, they would order.
And who do you think's running California? Her nephew.
Oh yeah. Don't get me started on Newsom. He's the biggest lying piece of shit, and he believes his lies so much that he truly says it with conviction. I mean, it's just killing me how you could be like. I don't get it. I hope they all have their day, in hell someday, because it's. There are people that think that Newsom's really good. Like they're looking forward to him being, presidential candidate. It's like you can't be that stupid. You can't be.
There's no way in hell. I mean, if he literally became the president, I would have to say at that point, if we don't have a civil war or revolutionary war,
yeah,
I'm just going to dig my own grave and lay in it.
Let me ask you a hypothetical. Where could this just came? Where do you think we would be right now if Kamala Harris had become elected president? What state of shape of this nation do you think we would? What would? It's hard to imagine, but where do you think we'd be?
One world government. One world government, because
already
for whatever. Well, there's factions up there.
Yeah.
Me and my friends talk about it all the time, and I go back and forth even with my own ideas, because sometimes I'm like, well, maybe this is it. I mean, but there's factions up there. I mean, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I think that there's certain factions up there, and to them, this world is just a great big game of Risk, and they're all trying to take it over. So I think that maybe Trump has the better, more palatable thing right now. But I mean, Kamala Harris would have fallen like domino, like right to her knees, which is how she got up there anyway. And we would be in a one world government right now, because I mean, even she knew she couldn't do that job. She knew it.
Yeah.
With her damn cackle, whatever, putting collard greens in the bathtub. I don't know what at the end, if you watch her, like it just went downhill. Like she literally just started drinking before she went on live TV, because even she knew.
Nobody belonged where they were, and it was the most craziest 4 years of chaos and instability. But yet you had people that just loved anything that went on with that whole regime, and it just blows my mind. Again, I know people that I love very much, and I'm just like, I'm speechless, because again, it all goes back to hate the orange man. Doesn't matter. Hate the orange man. That's all that matters. Anybody but Trump. And I believe that Trump's got to play some of this. Yeah, I think Trump's morals are more. He's breaking them. Look how he told them off when he went over to the EU. Out of Davos, pretty much said it's over, guys. And now they shit their pants. You don't hear nothing from them right now.
No. But you have to be careful, because there are, like I said earlier, there's a lot of stuff going on in the background that we don't know.
Yeah.
We don't, we didn't really know why the whole thing was going down in Ukraine until we knew, it's a huge money laundering operation. There's labs there. There's a lot of trafficking goes through there. We didn't know that, until the end. I mean, some people did. Some people really pay close attention, and they understand what's going on. But the general public at large is like, oh, there's a war in Ukraine. Oh, no. Oh, no. They're taking things. And there's a rumor going around that there's all kinds of data. And Obama, I don't know if any of this is true. This is just all hearsay. But somebody told me Obama just got a lawyer, because what was he, he sent pallets of money over there, and what was he doing with it? And, there's all kinds of rumors going around. So we don't really, I mean, the reality is, if you've ever seen that movie, Wag the Dog, They can do whatever they want behind the scenes because people, even to this very day, have been trained to believe whatever the news tells you. Well, all I'm sorry to tell you, but every single person on the news is nothing more than an actor or an actress reading a script. There are no journalists hardly at all anymore, especially not on TV.
Nope.
And you're just believing it. I literally have know a guy that he's got to be in his late 30s, early 40s, and he's very liberal. He hates Trump. He's got TDS big time. And he just got through telling me people on the TV, on the news, Carol, they have no reason to lie. Of course, what they say is true. And I thought he was kidding at first. Nope, dead serious.
I've talked about it. I get it. That's why that's what most people that are normal believe that. Why would they lie? If most people don't know about the Smith-Mundt Act. When Obama gave them permission to, now you're not going to be responsible. What's your take on, we know the Smith-Mundt Act, if it could be put back in place, that would kind of shut them down a little bit more. Why don't you think Trump, has he, I know it's got to come across his table. He's the one who catches all the crap from it. Why hasn't he just put it back in and going, you guys start lying and keep up your stuff and you're going to be held liable? I mean, he's suing everybody anyway.
Because when you want to catch somebody doing something wrong, you don't stop them before they do it. You let them do it all the way to the end.
Well, they're doing it.
So where I've worked in my particular job for a long, long time. And, not particularly this job, but I work in retail and I've done it for 30 plus years now. I've made every mistake and I've seen everybody else make every mistake. And one of the things that I've learned even recently is that if someone is stealing from you or lying to you, you just stand back and let them do the whole thing so that they can get caught all the way until the end. You don't, when we know somebody's stealing, we make sure they steal it all the way so that
it's undeniable.
They have the money or the item already, and then there's no way. So if you're talking about media, well, there's a lot of things going on there. Number one, you have to let them lie enough that the public starts to figure it out. You're never going to get the whole public to figure out, but now we're getting a lot of the public is starting to wake up and go, wait a minute. Even people on the left. I mean, I was just watching a thing the other day about the whole myth of the party switch myth. What really happened, the parties didn't switch, but the Democrats lost half of their base, went to Republican because of the extremists. The whole thing is happening again now. The Democrats are losing half of their base because they're so extreme.
Right.
So so it's happening again where people are starting to go, oh, the media is lying. Well, it's not only that, but who owns the media now? You're talking about George Soros. You're talking about BlackRock. You're talking about all these way up there people. You got to be careful because now you're talking about a lot of money. These people who have bought our media, bought all our radio stations, bought our colleges, bought our medical industry, all owned by the big billionaires. The people, people get stuck on Bill Gates and all these people. There's people way above them that own all of this, and you're just missing it because you're ill-informed.
The recent purchase of TikTok, Larry Ellison from Oracle, I saw that he bought Paramount. He's buying Warner Brothers. He owns a plethora of radio stations and networks, and that's bad. That scares the hell out of me because ever since he bought it, TikTok now, I think it's gotten worse. The bots. And here we were worried about China, and it's like now they're not letting anything go through. You say the wrong word, you're cut off.
Yeah, TikTok sucks now.
Yeah.
It's played out. My suggestion to everybody on TikTok is to just drop it and leave. But
they won't
because they make money.
Yeah.
At least they're smart enough to get these people who are low character, who or, I mean, there's some people out there who just, that's their job and that's what they want to do. And maybe they're making videos because they're an actor or they're a dancer or something like that. And that's, I'm okay with that. I mean, if that's what you're making money off of, is something wholesome, you're making money off of your fishing videos or whatever. But now TikTok is full of like people who just want to debate on rage bait, people who are coming on, making, there's one guy who was like, repeal the 19th Amendment, and LGBTQ people are degenerates. And I've known this guy. I've sat in lives. I've talked to this guy, like person to person, and now it's and I'm like, why would we repeal the 19th Amendment? Well, women are too emotional to vote. Well, okay, but the last time I checked, almost every single war ever in history was started by the pride of men, not the emotions of women. So maybe we should just adjust that amendment and say only women should be able to vote. Because last I heard, all these people dying from wars, men's pride, not women's emotions. So shut the fuck up with that bullshit. And as far as LGBTQ people being degenerates, a lot are, but a lot aren't. So you're generalizing. But it's like that all the time. And now, I don't know if you've noticed this or not, everybody's a Christian preacher on there.
Really?
Well, I'm a Christian man. You're a Christian man? How many times have you been divorced? Gotten married? What are you doing in your bedroom? Yeah. No. Snake oil salesman. That's all you are.
So yeah, I'm not. I've really gotten off of there quite well. I still watch. There's some good people that are still on TikTok that are bringing truth in citizen journalism. You know what I mean? That's really what I'm looking for, because it's the only way you can get the truth. There's those people. What's the newest? That kid that busted the whole Somali scandal. That young guy. It's like, we're taking people to, because we're never going to get that from the news media, and that's our tax dollars, the billions that have been blown for decades because we're just compliant and just figure it's going to wherever it goes, and whoever knows, they should know they're in charge. And we've been getting screwed. Our parents have been getting screwed, and our children are going to get screwed if we don't straighten this shit up.
Right. But again, it has to be us that do it. And
well,
there's not enough of, there's too many people going, well, I have to pay my bills. I have to feed my kids. Like literally, if there were 100 people watching this, 98 of them would be going, well, I don't have time because I have to pay my bills and I have to feed my kids. Well, every day you go to work, you pay those people who are oppressing all of us. You're paying them. You're working for them. You are, and that's the thing about, so-called indentured servitude or slavery. In the end, you end up enslaving yourself. And they've got us all enslaving ourselves because we all pay our taxes. We all go to work. We all work for the man. We all make somebody else money. We all come home and complain about it. And then we watch our movie or we sit on TikTok and we yell and whine at each other. And we get up the next day and we go to work and we put ourselves in servitude. And I do it every day. I'm not immune from it. Like I work 12-hour days a lot of the times, 10, 11, 12-hour days on my own. I don't, I could turn around and go, well, it's not done, but I don't, because I want to keep my job, because I want to pay my bills and I have goals in this thing. You know what I mean? So they've got us really well trained. How well trained are we? Are we so well trained that we'll just let them, Islam take over, or maybe this will become a little Israel, or, it'll be a one world government, or who knows, whatever else they have in mind, or we're going to be living a Star Wars world with aliens all over the place and flying. Who knows? Yeah. But are we that well trained? I would say with the lack of morality, the lack of character, and I'm not talking about empathy. Empathy can be a bad thing if you take it too far. Empathy can turn around on you. Like people who are just a fucking bleeding heart all the time, that's not good for people either. But I mean, you have a lack of character. Nobody's going to stand up. Nobody's going to do anything about it. And what's going to happen? They're going to do whatever they want, just like they've been doing all this time, because we all just get up the next day and go to work. So, what do you do? It's a conundrum.
How far is too far? That's going to be the question. And when finally everybody says that, and there's the thing about when people yell at me for just talking about it, I feel that if the old adage, the natives are getting restless, when they know that people are getting, we're on to them, they do calm down. I mean, it's been done before through the years. They had to back down, just like even COVID now. I mean, they almost had us, but they didn't, and are they going to try again?
Still have some people.
Well, that is true. I got another close friend. I know if I told him, it's all come out. They've admitted. I mean, there's documents saying it was all a test to see, about conformity and all that. He'll just freaking give me the crazy eyes. I mean, what are you going to do?
Or that they've admitted now that long COVID is actually just the effects of the vaccine, the side effects.
Sure.
It's in papers. People just need to go and read them.
No, nobody will. No time. Too busy.
They're just lazy.
Well, it's important to me. I mean, I would think, especially people with children and things like that, for the sake of them. But at the same time, I understand that they, again, lost in the day, the busy, but not everybody gets involved. But I don't know. I'm not saying everybody's got to be on top of it, but to be aware, at least to have your guard up. That's all I'm asking for, because it gets more and more evident at that. And I'm not saying everybody's got to be a raging soldier, but I'm hoping more people are at least going, all right, you know what? They had me. They sold it really well, Carol. They sold it really well. They scared the shit out of everybody. I had to get my bearings straight in the very beginning, and then I finally got a grip on it, because again, you throw so much stuff out there, you don't know what's real and what's not real. But I'm just crossing my fingers that we're getting better and better at this, but they just keep on throwing more and more stuff. I'm wondering if they'll ever get so desperate to where they will try to pull the alien invasion or the second coming, because it's going to cause havoc, and they'll burn things and destroy things because you have to make it real. They're going to kill people, collateral damage. But how far will they go, and how far will people believe in this crap?
They'll go really far. They'll go all the way. And the more desperate they get, the more awake, because we are in the Great Awakening. Yeah. But here's the deal. There's about the Great Awakening, about the Great Reset. There have been many Great Resets. This isn't the first time. This has happened many times. There have been big ones. There have been little ones. Look at the Great Depression. What did it start with? The stock market crash. Who runs the stock markets? Well, what was right before the Great Depression happened in the 30s? What was happening before the 30s? The Roaring 20s, right? All the people had money. People were enjoying their life. They were going around. They were dancing. They were happy. Well, the powers that be couldn't have that.
Yeah.
So what do? They're the ones who basically run the stock market. They have all the money. So they crashed the stock market and put the whole country into the Great Depression, because the Roaring 20s, they couldn't have that. You can't have happy people. Why? Because they think that happy people make terrible slaves. They're actually incorrect. They're wrong. That's what happens when you inbreed your whole freaking family for centuries. Why are you wrong? Happy people do happy work. How do I know that? I've been managing people for 20 years.
Yeah.
Miserable people don't do good work. So you're going to make your whole country miserable people. You got nothing.
They just
don't. Their idea is, go ahead.
No, they just don't want you too happy. They want you to be tolerable happy. Just
no, I don't think so.
No.
No, because they want you to be so miserable, so hopeless that you depend on them, you need them, and you're begging them for help. This is about their ego. Power is about ego. That's all it is. I don't care what kind of power you're talking about. Money, you're talking about power of the media, you're talking about power over medicine. Go all the way back to the old days, cavemen with freaking big sticks. It's about your damn ego. That's what it's about.
we're running out of time, and I want to go back to the original thing. Your community, the gay community, how in touch are you with, like, even on Instagrams and stuff like that? How much time do you spend in those forums, like, as to what's going on in their beliefs and things like that?
Zero.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
I watch what is her name? Ariella Scarpelli. I watch Becky Weiss. I watch Conservative Ant. And they kind of keep me in touch with what's going on, and I am in some TikTok lives with some other, but most of the other LGBT people I'm with are right-sided. I don't spend any time with left-sided gay people at all. I won't tolerate them in my life. I won't tolerate them in person. I won't tolerate them on TikTok. I won't tolerate them on Instagram. I won't spend any time with them because they're so far to the point, not because, excuse me, not because their narrative is so far gone, because I mean it is, but because they're so afraid to admit that their narrative is trash that it's impossible to talk to them. They're so stuck in that trans women are women and whatever other nonsense they're pronouns and whatever. They're so stuck there. And and like I said before, the majority of these people are outcasts. They're the people who sat alone at lunch, or the kids that didn't fit in. That's who all these people are. The socially awkward people that are, in my opinion, the ones that embrace this the most, which makes me sad, but it's go look at them. They're overweight. They're not the most attractive people. They're in the, they're the goth people or whatever they are, but they're so far stuck in it, and they're so afraid to admit that they're wrong. And you can tell this by watching any detransitioner, anyone. They'll tell you that they were so afraid to leave it because they would get so bullied by leaving that left side, which, I found out you do. As soon as you leave the left, you get bullied by the left. If you don't believe, do, and say what they want you to say, it's like being in the left, being in control of any leftist narrative is like living with an abusive mate. You want to get out of there so bad. You're so unhappy. You're so miserable. But every time you try to leave, they're just beat the crap out of you. And so that's how these progressives, these liberals, these Democrats, and it's always been that way all the way since the beginning of the time. We know that. We know what they started. We know what they did. These people cannot get away. And when they finally get away and try to like detransition or get away from it, these people come after them like, how dare you bring a mirror to our face and show us how wrong we are? Because we have egos. We can't admit that we're wrong. We can't admit that there are only boys and girls, and then you can't change from a boy into a girl, and you cannot change from a girl into a boy. They can't admit that. Because it's just too hard to admit you're wrong. Well, guess what? You know why you're socially awkward? Because you don't have enough character to be able to admit that you were wrong. And you know who admits when they're wrong? Cool people. That's why you're not one of them.
I know it's hard for people to admit they're wrong, and I think that has a lot to do with these past 5, 7, 10 years. It's like they got on that ship, and they're gonna, they can't accept the fact that the Democratic Party is not the party that it once was, but yet they're staying on it because it's the Democratic Party, even though they know it's gone to hell. And
I would say that the Democratic Party is exactly what it once was. The party that started the KKK, the party that wanted to keep their slaves, the party that promoted things like abortion. They are the same party.
Well, maybe
the
they hid
extreme party that claims the Republican Party has always been the party for civil rights. not the Democratic Party.
See, when I was growing up, all I knew as a kid, now I didn't know a whole lot, but all I knew, it was like the Democratic Party was the party of the working man, and the Republican Party was the party of the wealthy, and that's what was driven into most people's, like the topic, the subject matter or whatever. And from that point on, whatever happened. But maybe they were like they were, but they weren't so blatantly outright crazy like they are now. I mean, they're not hiding.
Well, I think they just weren't telling us, because if you go and watch the history of the Democratic Party,
yeah,
they've always had all the money, and the Republican Party has always been the party of the working man. History shows that.
I get it, but
who was the first women congressman? Jeanette Rankin, a Republican.
What year?
From Montana, who was vehemently anti-war and was a suffragette. The Republican Party has always been the party of civil rights and the working man.
Look, everything is out of control. Everything's out of control, and again, the narratives get washed away, and they compound it with just junk on top of junk. And here we are right now. And look, we can go 3 hours easily, and I told you, but we I before we go, because we got to go. I want to let everybody know that if you want to follow Carol, you can find her on Instagram. She has topics. Can I say daily? I mean, you put out a lot of content, don't you?
I try to, yeah. I haven't in a little while because I've been working a lot, but I'm going to be starting to put a lot of content up again, only on my Instagram, not on my TikTok.
Okay, well, you can find Carol at Right Side Lesbian Art. What's with the Right Side Lesbian Art? Break that down for me. I forgot.
So when I first started my TikTok, I was still on the left. So after I woke up and realized I was on the wrong side, I deleted my few little leftist videos that I had on there, and I went to change my name because I don't remember what my name was, something ridiculous. And I tried a million different names and nothing would come up. So I just started typing in pieces of who I was. Right, I'm on the right side, I'm a lesbian, and I'm an artist. And that name worked, and now everybody knows me as Right Side. So I just leave it.
Fair enough. I just forgot, and I said I was going to ask before the show was over again, because again, a lot of stuff comes and goes in my brain, and I just could not remember how it all pieced together. But you can find Carol on Instagram. I strongly suggest you go and follow her, Right Side Lesbian Art. She's a plethora of information, and there's no baloney in between. It is what it is. You can take it or you can leave it. But again, it makes a lot of sense to me, and that's why you're sitting here on the show. And I truly love you for giving me the time. This time, now that we've become, more, I know you more because you've been on this show. It was a breeze. I called you up. You said, yeah, sure. And we made a date, and here you are. And we're just talking about things that I feel are important to talk about, including your community as well, but in the change. But here we are. We shifted over into the here and now and the policies of this world. And I think that's important too. So I don't care who you are, white, black, green, orange, male, female, all that. So long as, we all have to live together, and that's the problem. We all have to live together.
Yep.
All right. Any last words for your future fan club?
My future fan club. You're my fan club friend. Thank you for letting me be on your show. Thank you for calling me again. And for anybody who's out there, just keep your eyes on the higher power. Keep your eyes on whatever higher power you have, and try to keep your feet on the ground and keep moving. And we'll all get through this together, whether we want to or not, unless there's zombies, in which case some of us will get through this and the rest of you will be eating brains.
All right. Fair enough. Well, I want to get through it, and I know we'll all get through it, but again, yeah, some will be flying off at the handles, and some will have it a lot more together. All right, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Right, again, I remind you, follow Carol on Instagram, Right Side Lesbian Art, and you can find her there, and she'll be bringing more information. And she brings it's all current information as well as things that have to do with just about anything that makes sense in this world. And that's it. I love you. Thank you for giving me the time. We'll be in touch. If you got the time, hang out for a few minutes until we finish up. If you got to go, I understand. I'll just talk to you tomorrow. But I just got a few minutes here, and then we're going to be out of here. And I hope everybody got something out of this. I know I did. I always get something up from everybody else. So just stand by. Wave to everybody, and we'll see you in a bit. There you go. Right there, Carol, my favorite common sense lesbian. One last big look right there. Go sign up on our Instagram. There we go. All right. I told you she's my favorite common sense lesbian. All the whole title, it all makes sense right there. Lesbian, right side lesbian art right there. Go find her on Instagram. I found her a long time ago, and I just started taking a liking to her. I mean, again, it makes sense. Common sense. Doesn't matter who you are. I know tons of people, like, they're out of their mind. It's like, what the hell's wrong with you? And I go, don't answer that. It's not enough time in the day. Anyway, all right, look. Real quick, I'm going to give you one more quick video, and then we got to go. But this is summing it up for all the Dems and everything and all you people, all right? Just take this, because I think this sums up the why we are talking about the things that we are talking about and the way we're talking about it right now. So here you go.
A word of advice to the Democrats. You are literally making it impossible for me to stay in your crew. Very difficult, and I'll tell you why. You're acting like you don't understand how we got here. We got here because of Jimmy Carter. We got here because of the JCPOA, which gave this regime $100 billion, allowed for them to enrich. We got here because Biden gave them tens of billions of dollars. You act like you don't know, but you know. You are literally, I don't know what you stand for. You don't stand with the people of Venezuela. You don't stand with the people of Ukraine. You definitely don't stand with the people of Iran. You don't stand with the people of Palestine. I don't know who you stand with. You voted through the big blue bill. You were a part of how we got here with ICE. So it's like so confusing because your entire platform is anti-Trump. And I'm not saying I'm pro-Trump. What I'm saying is, what do you believe in? What do you stand for? Tell me. I want to know, because I went to the DNC. It was all anti-business, anti-this, anti-this. What is it pro? What are you standing for at this point? Tell me what you stand for, because I know what the other side stands for. It's very clear, the value proposition, but I do not know what you stand for. And in this moment where you are literally calling for no war, no intervention, you literally didn't ask for the UN to enact the responsibility to protect during a massacre, but you literally don't have any solutions. You have no solutions. None. No solutions. Your entire policy is, we hate Trump. Fine. Your entire policy is Epstein. Okay. How does that help me and my family? How does that help the world? How does that help stop the access of resistance? How does that stop ICE? Tell me, please. I'm dying to know. Iranians know what's up. We know how we got here. We know how we got here. JCPOA, Jimmy Carter. That was you. So tell me how you're going to fix it.
Tell me. I'm listening. I'd love to say, okay, sounds great. All right. I hope you enjoyed tonight's show. I want to remind you next week, one more time, next week, Wednesday, March 11th, I have psychic medium Amy Bileski that's going to be on. She's the bomb. She talks to dead people. Can't say that enough, because I've watched her for a very long time. She's been on this show years ago, but I got her back on, and we got some catching up to do. I think you'll find it interesting, good or bad. I always have, bring something to the table, whether you believe or not believe. Join me next Wednesday, March 11th, psychic medium Amy Bileski from The Bileski Experience, going to be on this show, and I'm going to talk to her. I'm going to pick her brain, and who knows where we're going to go. I always take one phase at a time when I start asking the questions. So we'll be all over the map, but it'll be great entertainment with a purpose. Take it as you wish. All right. That's it. I want to thank everybody for watching Life with Peter G, The Peter G Show, every Wednesday like clockwork, 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, and 9 p.m. on the East Coast. And definitely, God willing, need all the help we can get, especially now in these times. All right. I remind everybody, be kind, I love you guys. I truly do. Thank you for your support. Keep following on Facebook. Hit the follow button on the official Peter G Show page. YouTube, hit the subscribe button. Share, share, share. Follow all the short clips too. And I am not AI, people. This is a real show, and I am real. Love me or hate me. Just going to keep this show real too. All right? Just a reminder in case everybody wants to keep telling me that this is an AI. Again, nobody wants this shit for AI. All right? I love you guys. So just don't take any wooden nickels. Be kind. You don't have to take a bunch of crap from people, but you don't have to be an ass either. Life is very short. It's getting shorter. And that's it. All right? I love you guys. So I'm Peter G. Thanks for watching, and peace out.
Peter G Show, Peter G Show, divorced dad, single